If it's Tuesday, that means it is Comic Book School Live. My name is Buddy Scalera, the co-founder of Comic Book School, and you are here to talk about, no, I'm here to talk about the craft and business of making comics, and you're here to add your comments. So in real time, I'll be keeping an eye on your comments tonight. Sorry, my voice is still a little tired, but you know what always perks me up? My co-host, three-time Emmy Award-winning screenwriter, Mike Fasolo. Mike Fasolo. And there's Mike. Mike, you're muted. Mm-hmm.
There we
That's
go.
it.
I got
That's it.
muted unintentionally.
I know. You know why I'm still hoarse? Because New York Comic Con was like a month or 3 ago or 2 weeks ago, and I'm still exhausted.
Still.
I'm literally still tired. It was the first major con. We came there in force with Comic Book School, and I will be showing you some of the photos from the event. We have a special guest tonight as well, and a special new feature, Mike, to keep you, my co-host, temporarily only, on your toes.
Yes, because I never
Uh,
know what's coming.
you never know what's coming. We never really plan too much. But tonight we actually have a guest. We'll be talking with the guest about certain items, and then we'll get to the scientifically proven best part of the show, which is our check this out segment.
Mhm.
Items that people should be checking out for at their local comic shops or wherever, at the music store, wherever they go. Do they still have music stores?
No,
They don't have music stores.
no.
They still have comic book
They
stores.
do still have comic book stores and toy stores.
They do. For people who are not familiar with Mike Fasolo, he used to sit next to me at Wizard magazine, where we created Wizard Online. We did the Wizard Online message boards on America Online. We did them on the web. We did a weekly newsletter. And we also, I always say we shared an office with our next guest, but we actually sat in the anti office to his office. We were the blockers to
We
his
were like the
office.
receptionists for
We
him.
were we were no better than anybody who's just standing in your way. Uh, so please welcome our first guest. It is Darren Sanchez. So Darren is joining us on screen now. He is my Marvel Comics editor. He's going to stop doing what he's doing for a minute. He's probably editing late into the night.
Oh yeah.
Darren, welcome to the show.
Thanks, buddy. Hi, Mike.
Hi, Darren. How you doing?
Yeah, we used to sit in the ante office for Darren, and people came to see him, and we looked up hopefully like someone was going to visit us, and they were just going to see Darren.
Yeah, it's like Darren. Yeah,
Yes, he's in there
Right.
where he always is, and people would whisk in. But I think the worst part, Mike, was people would wait for Darren and then sit in our office and go like this. So
they had that
going
one
on.
chair that just sat facing your desk, and they just had to sit and wait.
So no, that's not disturbing at all.
You could have paged me or something, but we had the beepers. Remember back then?
We
But,
did. Do you remember that everybody? Oh, great, the dog's starting to bark now. Everybody, I remember doing this to the interns. What was the intercom number? Like *49 or something.
right.
And when you get a new intern, you'd say, Mike Fasolo, pick up *49. Mike, pick up *49. And you'd intercom, hello, hello, hello. And then you'd be more urgent. Mike, please dial *49 as quickly as possible. And you'd hear these poor people. But hold on, let me send a text message. Talk amongst yourself. I have to get somebody to get the dog out of here. Chat among Darren, tell him what you do, whatever you do. What do you do, Darren?
Well, aside from the stand-up comedy that we do, I'm a comic book editor, a writer. I'm also the publisher of After Hours Press, where I make all kinds of stuff from animation to custom comics to IP creation. Basically, been doing comics since '93. Started at Valiant, and then I was at Wizard for 12 years with you guys, as you know. After that, Starlight Runner, and then Marvel. So
And Darren was my editor on a lot of my Marvel projects, Mike. And I liked him because he paid me.
Yeah.
And he's Darren. How could
And
you
he's
not like
Darren.
him?
Actually, the community will be familiar with Darren. Those of you who were part of our challenges will remember that Darren generously came on for many calls. Is he going to start writing something again? Like, is this
No, I'm just
He's editing.
you're just going to sketch? You're going to edit
He's
something?
editing you
I
right
just
now.
saw him pick up a pencil. So, like, are you going to pen a letter or something? But he would do that. He would come on and give us editorial input. Now, a lot of people were expecting to see Darren at New York Comic Con this year, but due to traffic woes, Darren sent multiple photos from the bus stop where the bus failed to pick him up, and
never
he was
came.
he was stuck between, do I race home and try to drive to the train? Do I try a different bus stop? And I was just like, just wait. Till at a certain point, the bus never came, and
Were
Darren.
you? I'd rather have thought of Darren as chasing the bus down, like just be like, he just missed it, and he had to run halfway to wherever the convention was in New York City somewhere.
So unfortunately, he didn't make it the day of his event, but he made it the next day. He was very generous in talking with people about storytelling. So I've asked him tonight to revisit that and talk about storytelling. But I do have a special new feature, Mike. That new feature is called Pop In Guest. And this is where I have a guest that I've planned to bring on the show that you are not aware that I was bringing in. So you will be just as surprised as the audience when the pop-in guest arrives. This guest, both of you know, you both met this guest over the years, are familiar with this guest, but will not recognize the guest when we bring them on screen because they are in disguise. Is everybody ready for the pop-in guest?
Yes.
All right. Well,
and now
no, do it again, Rob. Oh, all right. K Macho, would you please wake up? We need you to join the show. K Macho. Now, K Macho has actually gone one step further, has created a luchador as a costume, and has joined us tonight on the show. Say hello, K Macho.
he's a little horse.
Now, K Macho was on with us prior to the show. Did either of you guess who it was prior to the show starting?
No idea.
And what's funny is when I heard K Macho speaking at New York Comic Con, I knew the minute I heard his voice exactly who it was. K Macho, speak with your regular voice.
You sure we want to go there?
We want to go there. K Macho.
I'm gonna give Mike like 3 hints. All right.
Okay. Yep.
First day we worked together, we shared like a huge alcove. And I made sure that there was one rule and one rule only, that the blinds had to be screwed. None of this bullshit that like this. That doesn't help. Okay, I'm going on to number 2.
Okay, number two.
We're playing softball, and Jeff Hannish runs up first base, and his feet make this noise.
I think I might know now. I think.
Would
I
you like
might
to give
know.
it a guess, Darren? You can give it a guess too if you think you know it.
Oh, I think
I
I
can
know.
give it a guess.
I think I know. Were you pitching in that
Yes.
softball game?
Of course.
Of course.
Yep.
That's Robin Ramos.
Robin Ramos. Yes.
Robin Ramos.
Thank you.
Welcome, Robin Ramos.
Are you ready to unmask yourself?
I tried that 5 minutes ago, and it stuck.
It's stuck. All right. Well, it is Robin Ramos. I'm going to just do a quick pull up here. You guys will remember Robin was a legendary graphic designer who helped set the visual tone for Wizard magazine. He provided us with a couple of graphics and other graphics from Inquest. Mike, you and I both worked for Inquest.
Yep.
And there he is, now unmasked.
Hey, Robin.
Robin Ramos.
It is in the
Welcome.
flesh.
As our popping guest. Robin, we saw each other at New York Comic Con. You've continued to go to the shows over the years.
Well, yeah, when I could. It's been a while. Prior to that, pandemic hit, so none of that. And I had an opportunity to go with a close friend of mine who happens to be a fantastic artist. He flew here, so I'm like, dude, I'll help you out because you got to go pee-pee. So.
Yeah, so we've followed up with Fion, and hopefully we'll have him as a guest sometime soon.
Oh, you certainly should, man. He's a great dude.
He is. And you are a great dude for joining us, Robin. You're just going to pop in. We're seeing a lot of thumbs up from the community. They're happy to see you. Will you join us for a full episode where you can talk a little bit about your legendary days as Wizard? I think, are those Wizard Fan Awards? No, those aren't Wizard Fan Awards. Those are some sort of other awards behind you.
Yeah, those I found in a box around the corner from home.
I see on your screen actually the images you just sent to me.
Yeah, because you asked me for stuff. I'm like, dude, that was like another life. Like
Right.
Long time
you
ago.
told me the work that you did like 55 years ago.
Floppies and shit.
He had to go to the Jazz Drive and pull it up, and it took like 20 minutes.
I knew I was able to locate something, but it was a little bit of work.
As per normal, I asked last minute, and everybody was scrambling, but you got it. You pulled it together. You pulled it through like you always did. Robin, thanks for joining us as our pop-on guest. Will we see you again soon? Yeah, will we see you again soon?
Buddy, I'm sorry. I want to point out that you're the only one that doesn't have the right hairstyle among all of us.
Oh, buddy? I was going to mention that, but it's like cliche. It's like a bald convention. If it's just two of us, we can put our heads together and make an ass of
Anyway, Robin, thanks for joining us tonight. We're going to carry on, and we hope you keep watching the show. Thank you so much.
I really want to talk to you guys. I want to catch up, but I don't want to make one of those Zoom calls.
All right. We'll do it in real life. Thanks, Robin. So we'll key off Robin, and it'll just be me, Mike, and Darren. There we go. That was pretty fun, wasn't it?
Yeah, I haven't seen Robin in decades.
It's good to see him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I heard his voice in the hall among the din of people buying, selling, exchanging money, networking, and I heard it, and I was like, that is Robin Ramos.
Huh. Never would have guessed it.
And then he did 6 other voices. My favorite was Robin Ramos posed as the devil for an issue, I think, of Inquest, right?
Yes.
Wasn't it?
I seem to remember that, yes.
Yeah. Anyway, people are loving this show, not just because of you and me, Mike. I mean, in general, it's you and me, but they love it because Darren Sanchez is here to talk about outlining a story. And Mike, you've written a few stories. Do you outline when you begin to write a screenplay, which may eventually win an Emmy?
Yes, outlining is very key, and I
Hold on.
have learned over the years. Usually,
There you go, Mike.
I think, I can just do this, off the cuff, but you really need the outline to
Right.
get the story down.
Well, screenplays are really complicated, and you have like the index cards and
Yep.
all this kind of stuff. And so doing a comic is like a miniature version of that. Unless you're doing like a 12-issue arc where there's all kinds of character development and it's eventually going to be made into a movie. One issue of a comic is not near as complex as a full screenplay. So that's,
Hey, Darren, one of the things that you did prior to this was you sent me a story outline graphic. Mike has not yet seen it, so we'll be revealing it to Mike and to our audience, and then we'll ask Darren to talk a little bit about it. Does that sound good?
Yep.
All right. So for story outline, this is not exactly meant. It doesn't really work great as a vertical, but Darren, can you just help us to understand what we're looking at? We're going to go back to you for a second, and then we'll open up the graphic again. What was that, Darren?
Okay. When I start to write something, that's kind of the structure that I have in my head. It's a classic 3-act structure where anyone who's read a screenwriting book or anything like that, it knows about the 3-act story structure. The beginning is a small part, the middle is the hardest part and the longest, and then you end on some kind of climax, and then at the end you have a resolution. It's the simple formula, but when you have a story, like sometimes, Buddy, we would get 8-page stories that we would have to write, or an 11-page story for Panini or something like that. But a standard comic is 20 or 21 pages. So this is kind of the graph I have in my head. Anytime I would write that length story, I would know the intro should be about that many pages. The middle part, the act 2, it's just kind of cues. I don't go by that like exactly to the letter, so where every comic is the same. I kind of move it around a little bit, but those are just guidelines for me that help to make the story feel fulfilling and kind of address all the right things and have good pacing. I like to try and make it like a roller coaster in a way that if the roller coaster just went straight the whole time, it'd be a really boring roller coaster. So you need to build up. You need the big moments. All that stuff. All that stuff is in there. So it kind of gives you a nice feel for it. So what do you think about?
So when I see this, Darren, what I see is it reminds me a lot of Robert McKee's structure. You by Act 1, you get to that turning point or the inciting incident. Act 2 is typically twice as long as Act 1 and Act 3, so it's not really thirds, it's quarters, but Act 2 is 2 quarters.
Right.
I typically write them timeline, left to right. I kind of think that way, and that allows me to block out side by side pages.
I see. Well, we could do that, but I wanted something that basically on a sheet, on a notebook or a clipboard or something. I jot in like on page 1, I'll make like a 4 or 5 word little memo to myself of what I'm going to put on page 1. Like I don't know, Robbie first day at school, something like that, and then little notes like that all the way down through to 20, so that when I start writing, I pretty much know what's going to happen on every page. And if I have to adjust it later, that's fine. I don't always use this. Sometimes I just start writing because I kind of know that in my head. But I believe that you need to understand structure, and you need to have structure before you start breaking rules, because you could easily start writing yourself into the weeds if you don't have some kind of idea of where you're going with things. Subplot. I mean, think about Game of Thrones. They could have used that, right? I mean, there's all these subplots that go unresolved, or you go, write yourself out into the weeds, and it's like when you're drawing something and you didn't make enough room for the feet. Like when you're writing a story and then you need like 5 more pages to the end because you didn't pace it properly, and you only have 1 page left. So you got to ask your editor, "Can I have more pages?" And he's like, "Hell no," because each page costs the publisher like $500 or whatever. It depends who's drawing it, but it's important, if you're going to have a set page count and a set structure, to have some idea so that you could pace it properly and have it actually fit and work. And that's
So Darren, this feels like a full episode to me. This right here feels like a full episode, doesn't it, Mike? Like where we would want to go through it. I see some thumbs up coming from the community. So Darren, would you come back and break this down? Maybe even use a sample script of your own where we can just spend one whole episode doing this?
Sure. It'd be my pleasure.
Well, that was easy. I should have asked him for something a little more difficult. Like an agreeable guy. Darren, we're going to go on with the regular part of the show. Would you like to stay with us and just continue with the rest of the show?
Yeah, I'll stay for a little while.
A little while. If you get bored, you're out.
He gets bored.
You're going to get an empty chair.
So I am going to now attempt to share a Chrome tab, Mike.
You got the button?
I got the button, and I'm going to hit it right here. All right. Looks like I got it.
Nice.
What I did here is if you go to the homepage of the Comic Book School website, you will see that we've begun uploading photos from our events, our activities, all kinds of fun stuff. Right now, we only have 3 sets loaded, and they're all photos. We don't have any videos up. We're working on that. But as you can see, we have quite a lot of photos and videos available to our community already. Even some from my daughter, Nicole, who turns out she's a heck of a photographer. You can see, some of the artwork that's being created by our esteemed panelists who participate so generously in a live drawing event. So I hope people will check that out. And of course, everywhere you can go, you will always find an icon for our free anthology.
Free is the best price.
Free is the best price. Yeah. So this is why I'm still tired from Comic-Con, but at least you can see the fruits of our adventures and our labor.
Looks like you had a good time.
We did have a good time. So hopefully people will check that out. And again, the anthology, which I will pull up here generously to show you, is available for free download at the Comic Book School website. And certainly we want to make sure that we are making that. Well, I'll do my best. All right, there you go. It's available over here. All right, you get it. You get what I'm saying. I can't have too many events pulled up. And also, one of our editors also is part of a juried art show. A.A. Rubin is part of some sort of art show. I think I wrote it down somewhere, but first I'll just show the art. He is one of our editors and has also contributed art. He's at the Cold Spring Harbor in Cold Spring Harbor, New York, celebrating a museum's 85th anniversary. So he just wanted us to share that, and we just want to say how proud we are of our entire community and everything that they do. Right, Mike?
Exactly. Community is everything.
Community is key. So I feel like we're coming close toward the end. We try to stay on time. The scientifically proven favorite part of the show is the check this out section, where we talk about something that we hope that you want to check out. And Mike, would you like to go first this
Sure,
week?
I'll go first.
Show us what you have to check out.
I have Decorum.
Decorum.
Decorum. It's a fantastic comic book. This is actually number 2 because I didn't have a number 1 with me, but it is a story by Hickman and art by Huddleston. Good stuff. It's about an assassin in the world. The galaxy has gone crazy. There's so much story in there. You really can't even tell how much it is, but it's very in-depth, very intriguing. The character is great. Stories are great. And I would highly recommend looking into it.
Will that go into the curio cabinet directly behind you when you're done reading it? Is it that good?
It's that good. I'll put it on a nice little stand back there.
I have a collected edition of a graphic novel called Dead Day by Aftershock Comics, actually edited by our friend and colleague Mike Martz. It is a unique twist on zombies. It's not a zombie horde, but rather a certain number of dead people come back one day a year for Dead Day, and they are allowed to come back and reunite with their families. But they are still the Walking Dead, but they are alive and can go back to their families and get together with them for one day. And sometimes it turns out well, and sometimes it does not. So Dead Day, very clever twist on the zombie genre.
Do they eat brains?
I don't think they ate brains in this issue, but I'm hoping they continue this series. It was really well done. Great twist. You're rare to get a clever twist on the zombie genre or the genre.
Zomdra.
Yeah. Darren, do you have anything to share today for your check this out?
Let's see.
Really, he's gonna wing it just by checking around what's in his office.
Yeah, I got this thing over
I
here.
have a ton of comics, but they're all pretty old. You know what? I'll show you this.
Show us that, because that's actually worth some money, right, Darren?
I don't know, but if it is, then you can't have it. No.
I go shopping at Darren's house sometimes. I'll be like, "Can I borrow this?" He never gets it back.
The How to Draw books. We did a whole series of these at Wizard, and basically we took an existing article that was in Wizard magazine, Brutes and Babes, and then it was turned into something else. I forget what it was called after that.
It was called Comic Book School.
Something like that. And then we just pulled them all together, and then we started getting original stuff, like asking different artists in the industry to do a chapter on I don't know, dynamic figure drawing or anatomy or perspective or all the different things. And we tried to put together a bunch of cohesive art books. We even did one that was spiral bound because a lot of the artists complained that when they put them on their desk, they had to weigh them down and like push them down to keep them from, doing that. So the spiral bound ones are more user friendly. I don't have one of those like
Now,
handy.
Mike, do you do a Cliff Clavin impression at all? Can you
No.
tell? So, little known
No.
fact that those How to Draw books were later in the years. But the reason I started Wizard School, if you remember, Mike, on AOL, Wizard School was started because I wasn't allowed to use Brutes and Babes.
I
And
did
then
not know that.
After that, when we moved to the web, when AOL was, we brought it over there. And then when I left Wizard, I tried to pitch them on an idea of putting together photo reference for comic artists. They said no. And then Comic Book School was born.
So you did it yourself.
I'd done it myself.
Good for you.
Good for all of us. Because if we sat around, we would just be a book on Darren's spinner rack.
Not even a spiral bound one.
Not even he doesn't have a spiral bound one. I probably stole it from his office. So that's it. I mean, that about wraps it up. Mike, you got anything going on? Anything we should know about, where they should follow you? Anything of that nature?
I'm on Instagram and Twitter, but I barely
What about
post
Facebook,
anything.
Mike? Are you
No,
on Facebook? Are you getting on soon?
No,
No.
I avoided that train.
You avoided that train.
You guys are smart enough to put your Twitter handles on your name. See, I'm kind of a rookie at this, so I didn't get the heads up that that's the way we should have done it.
Next
So-
time.
I don't prepare my guests, Darren. There's no preparation.
It's just
You
a type in
should-
name.
No information. It's lucky you're lucky he gave you the link to get on here.
It's
I
actually
had
true.
I had to look hard for that. But
I see in the background our producer Dee Alley said she was crying a little. I'm assuming that she was weeping a little bit due to my graphic design. Is that true, Dee? Due to the graphic design, you wept a little. I should have sent you a show outline. That's right, AA. Darren, where can they find you in between now and when we have you actually on the show?
I'm on Twitter at Darren Sanchez. That's my name without the EZ. Also on Instagram at F Darren Sanchez. I think my
Which-
son.
That
my
sounds profane, Darren.
F. My first name is Felix, but my son actually took the Darren Sanchez because But so I
Kids.
went with
Although
that.
I've said F Darren Sanchez a few times. in
Yes,
my,
yes, I've heard that many times. So it's catching on. So
And then where is this After Hours Press website, Darren? I'm sure we'll unpack it in a future episode. Where can they find your current works?
the After Hours Press website, I do need to give it some attention, but it's afterhourspress.net. And,
All right. That's good.
It's right there.
Right there. And my name is Buddy Scalera. Everybody, thank you so much for joining us today for Comic Book School. And thank you so much for participating in the craft and business of making comics. Please like, subscribe, and tell somebody about the show. And we will see you again next Tuesday. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Make sure to subscribe to comicbookschool.com and get all of your information about Comic Book School on TikTok. Buddy, I'll eventually do one. We'll see you next week. Same Buddy channel, same Buddy time.